从2002年开始陪伴影迷，蜜拉乔瓦维奇几乎和恶灵古堡画上等号。这个原本电玩里并不存在的人物，15年来 KO 多少僵尸，不仅全球票房大破10亿美金，更是电玩电影里少数成功的艺术。
When you say what you play on screen, some women actually acting out in real life on a daily basis. I'm so touched by that.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, I'm so proud to be a part of these movies because I feel like it really has inspired so many women to be stronger in their real life and to stand up for themselves and do what they want to do. And you know, that's part of the magic of acting, of making movies, is you want to touch people. You want to feel like people are inspired by what you do, and that's, to me, one of the most amazing things about being an actor, is being able to reach out to people and you know, change their lives in a small way or in a big way, but you know, do something special for them. I've always felt an affinity towards strong characters. You know, I think my father kind of raised me a bit like a boy, so I grew up watching, you know, Bruce Lee with him on the weekends, and you know, I think as well when I did The Fifth Element, it really showed me that I could handle it, and not only handle it, but I really enjoyed the training. I enjoyed learning martial arts. I enjoyed weapons training, and so I was looking for another action movie to do. Of course, I never realized that it would be a 15-year franchise, but you know, I definitely wanted to make a mark as a female action hero. I thought that would be something that, you know, I really enjoy.
Well, I wasn't the one doing the fighting, so they were all easy for me. But I think for Mila and for the crew, like the hardest was there's a big fight scene on the top of this big giant armored vehicle. And it's very long, it's very elaborate, it's about twice as many fight moves as Mila has ever had to memorize for any movie. It was in the kind of harsh African sun, and we're on top of a moving vehicle as well. So, you know, that it's hard enough to do a convincing fight scene on the ground, but on top of a moving vehicle, you know, really, it was very, very complicated and very hard for the actors.
Mm-hmm. How many days did you shoot for that scene?
We shot pretty much, we shot for 3 weeks at the start of the movie, with Mila getting dragged behind the vehicle with the zombie horde. And that was very hard for her. You know, every take, she had to run for half a kilometer, basically.
Whoa.
And that was just the start of it. And then she had to do the fight on top of the vehicle. And then we continued to kind of go back and shoot like a couple of days here, a couple of days there, pretty much for the entire shoot. It was like the never-ending scene. You know, we'd always be going back and doing a little more, a little more. But I think the end result is fantastic, and also because you can really see that it's Mila up there doing it.
Yes. Did she ever complain to you?
Mila never complains about the action. I mean, absolutely never. She's always the one that's asking for more.
Yes.
In fact, in that scene, there's a moment where she leaps off the armored vehicle, and she's on a rope, and she swings around and comes back.
That's really her?
Yes, and you know what? That was her idea as well, because I showed her this huge, elaborate fight scene. You know, when most actors would complain that they had to like do so much, she was like, I feel like there's something missing. There could be just some big something, like a leap or a jump. And then she left it to me to figure out, but you know, that was all her idea.
The blades are sucking the air backwards!
The big fan scene reminds me of some Jackie Chan's movie. Is that a homage or just by accident?
It's not by accident. You know, Asian cinema in general has had a huge influence on me. You know, and what I love about not just Jackie Chan, but Jackie Chan gets in there and he really does it. You know, you see that at the end of his movies where you see the outtakes where he's always getting hit and hurt. You know, Mila reminds me of Jackie Chan a lot in that she is just she believes that by getting in there and doing it herself, she improves the reality of it. She lets the audience really bond with her and with her character. And I agree with her, you know, and for an action film director to have an actor who's willing to do that, it makes my job much easier because I don't have to hide anything. You know, you can put the camera right in the middle of the action and you're not trying to conceal anything. You're not trying to conceal that the stunt doubles are doing it all. So, you know, it's not by accident that that you feel like it reminds you a little of Jackie Chan.
Is that all you got?
Upside down fight, you add some smile on her face.
I found that Alice has grown so much during the series, and I think, you know, as well as me growing as a person in, you know, outside of the movies, and I know that as a woman, the more you grow, the more you learn what you're good at, the more comfortable you become. And I felt like in this movie, Alice really kind of came into herself. She really knows what she does well, and she's comfortable with herself. So it felt right to kind of give her a bit more of the sense of humor because, you know, she's been beat up so many times in these films. Like, these guys can't just come up and hit her a couple of times and think that it's really gonna affect her. So I found it funny, so I laughed.
Hanging upside down and doing all the stunt or being a mom, which one is the most challenging for you?
Well, I think being a mom. Definitely, because, you know, you're responsible for another human being's life. I mean, doing stunts for me is fun. Being a mother is also fun, but at the same time, you want to do your best to raise a good person. A person who works hard, a person who values themselves and is respectful to others, is respectful to the world around them. So of course it's a big responsibility, and you worry a lot, you know, so definitely doing an action movie, I think, is easier.
Were you like a worry mom whenever on the set for the first day?
You know, yes, of course, on her first day I was worried, but I very quickly saw how mature she was acting and how professional, and she really embraced acting in such a way, and she's been wanting to act since she was 5 and started acting classes and really loves going to class. And so I saw immediately that I didn't really have anything to worry about. When she's on set, it's like she's a different person. You know, she loves it so much and she takes it so seriously that, you know, I don't have to do anything. She's just great.
Ever met her film debut in this movie? And
Yes.
Did you ever dare to say cut to her?
Yeah, I mean, Eva's like her mother. She takes direction really well. So, you know, they both listen to their director. On the movie set. You know, at home, it's a different thing.
Wow. So she's the boss at home?
Yeah, the girls are the boss.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, you know, like, Mila's the boss for sure, and, you know, little girls, they have their fathers wrapped around their fingers. I mean, everybody knows that.
And what was it like to meet Paul for the first time?
Well, Paul and I met when I came to audition for the part. And,
Were you nervous?
no, I wasn't.
Just
I wasn't nervous because I was in my mid-20s. I thought that I was like
Fearless.
the best thing in the world. I thought he'd be lucky to have me.
Let's
So, you know, I went in, I was like, I mean, come on. What, are you really not gonna hire me for this part? But then to be honest, you know, he changed the script a lot between
Because-
hiring me and me coming on set. So actually, the first time we really worked together was when I arrived to Germany to start production. I was so angry after reading the script because he had completely given all my great scenes to Michelle Rodriguez.
Wow.
So I pretty much walked in and I said, if Paul doesn't meet me in my room in an hour to go over the script. I'm leaving. I'm going on the first plane back tomorrow.
Michelle. Is that true?
That's not entirely true, but you know, when I wrote the first draft, it was very much focused on the Alice character. And then I met with Michelle, and she was very excited about being in the movie, so I built up another female character, and I probably was guilty a little bit of taking a little away from Alice. And then Mila, she turned up in Berlin where we were shooting, and she summoned me to her hotel room. She said, "This is it, you know, you got to change this," and she was right. You know, the pendulum had swung a little too far towards Michelle, and I brought it back. But that's all part of the process of filmmaking.
So I gave him hell, and he fell in love with me.
That's a great way to work with a director. Do you ever argue?
We argue. I mean, absolutely. You know, I think in marriage and in filmmaking, you know, there's disagreements. And in filmmaking, it's a creative art form, and for creativity, you have to have conflict. So you're going to have arguments, and I think the fact that, you know, we know how to deal with arguments in our personal life, we also know how to deal with arguments on the set. But I think it's all about respect for the other person. You know, I have tremendous respect, not just for Mila as my wife, but also as an actress. You know, that's why I had cast her in the first movie, before we had any kind of relationship. You know, I was a big fan of hers. And I think that combination of her being a strong actress and also a very strong physical performer, you know, that's very unique, and I really respect that.
You definitely know how to show her the sexist way.
Well, that's not a coincidence, you know. You know, but also I think as a director, I know how to shoot people. You know, so it's not just Mila. I mean, there's other women in my movies, and also the guys. You know, I like making people look good. I feel like that's part of, you know, the attraction of my movies. It may be the end of the world, but that's no reason why people can't look sexy.
Yes, that's true.
This is what I do.
Hello everyone in Taiwan. I'm Paul W.S.Anderson, the director of Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. It's the biggest action, it's the scariest fright scenes, it's the best movie we've made. You have to come see how it all ends.
Hello, everybody in Taiwan. I'm so happy and proud to be here. I really hope you go see Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. It's the biggest, it's the best, and it was made with so much passion and love for you. So I hope you enjoy it.